Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land my students and I are actually part of, which is the Kulin Nation. My class of grade 6 students will connect, communicate, and immerse themselves in the local Indigenous community and connect to the curriculum in a variety of different ways. The City of Wyndham, thankfully, provides some excellent resources for students and school communities to educate themselves about Indigenous culture and history. The Wangawil Durrang Community Centre, which is very local, not only provides a place for Indigenous people to gather, but it also provides the broader community with an opportunity to learn more about the significant Indigenous history of the Kulin Nation that we live in. For example, the significance of the Werribee River, the different Aboriginal languages that were spoken and are still spoken in the area, the Wadawurrung, Woiwurrung, and Bunurong languages, and most importantly, why these are significant. Utilising the resources locally available through enriching, informative, and strength-based pedagogical outcomes, this will ensures the class of students has the best opportunity to understand our local Indigenous history, regardless of their level of indigeneity. We must acknowledge that the path to reconciliation is well tread, but it's far from complete. Conducting regular classroom sessions, probably at least twice a term, at the Warungawil Durrang Centre and exposing students to the culture and history on show at the centre will help foster inclusion for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Whilst the school has a really low Indigenous representation, students need to be aware of the local and the broader history and culture that exists, not only in the Kulin Nation, but further afield in neighbouring nations and across the country, so that if new students come to the school, their history is appropriately understood, recognised, and celebrated. In teaching for reconciliation, while conducting lessons that promote reconciliation and lessons in general, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students' well-being and safety must be taken into consideration at all times. Ensuring culture is appropriately respected, that there is no exposure or an atmosphere of racism within the school, and ensuring that students understand the prevalence of white privilege is paramount. All of these factors promote a feeling of well-being and inclusiveness for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. Just by conducting these classes in a variety of different subjects across the curriculum at our local Indigenous Centre, we can easily connect to Indigenous representatives within the community who can provide students with regular, authentic, non-tokenistic, and obviously strength-based perspectives. These connections will help foster reconciliation not only within the classroom but across the broader community. So we can utilise guest speakers, artists, historians, and they're all available through the centre. So ensuring regular activities are conducted from the centre that incorporate Indigenous learning and help to foster a greater understanding, respect and acknowledgement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture ensures the path toward reconciliation is strengthened even further. Ensuring we take steps to close the gap is arguably the most important thing we can do toward true reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students. By conducting at least 2 culturally significant, well-structured and well-planned lessons at the Warrungal Durrang Centre per term, students can not only be exposed to all facets of local Indigenous culture, but they can also become curious and proactively involved in the Indigenous culture. This would be an incredible pedagogical outcome. It provides a win-win scenario as the Indigenous students will feel acknowledged and celebrated and that their culture is being truly represented and adds to a feeling of inclusivity, whereas the non-Indigenous students will become further educated, more involved in the journey toward reconciliation, and ensure that the gap that currently exists between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students can be considerably lessened.